man. Die freaking bell. Yuck!
I wanna be your everything, 'cause you are my everything. Oh, I wanna be happy for the rest of my life.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
My name is Aisha and this is my husband Maxwell and our precious little daughter India Rain. Today we're back again with another video. This one is going to be our labor and delivery video. So the two past videos, we brought you guys up to speed. We got married, we got pregnant, and now the labor. So yeah, so the labor was quite unique. I mean, every labor is unique. So this is the story of our labor and delivery, the birth of India Rain. So the labor started, basically my pregnancy first, quickly. Pregnancy went smoothly, no issues, no complications, really like perfect textbook pregnancy. I was followed by the birthing center in Montreal, so I didn't want to go to the hospital, so I wanted to have a natural birth, no medication, unmedicated natural birth. That's why I decided to go to the midwife. I had my birth plan. So my birth plan was to go and have India at the birthing center. So everything was set up. I wanted to deliver in the water. I wanted a water birth. Yeah.
You wanted a water birth too?
Everything was set. So fast forward to my due date. That was January 31st. So due date arrived. Nothing happened. India was still in. And then I think at 40 days, 40 weeks and 4 days, I went to see the midwife, and then they decided to check me to see if I was dilated, and then I didn't dilate. The midwife was like I was 0.
A little bit.
Not even that. Not even dilated. I was 70% effaced though, but not dilated whatsoever. Here in Montreal, when you reach 41 weeks, they make you go to the hospital and do like a non-stress test. So you go to the hospital and see if the baby has enough liquid, if the baby is safe, and if everything is good, so they can let you continue and wait until the baby comes naturally. So I went and I saw the doctor, checked, and she was like, oh, everything is perfect with the baby. Baby has enough water, enough room. Baby is placed in the perfect position for like birth. So like you're all set, you're all good. That was the Thursday, February 7th. And then Friday, February 8th at 3 a.m. I woke up, went to the bathroom, and lost my mucus plug. For those who don't know what mucus plug is, it's like the little glue that holds the cervix, and that basically prevents from any bacteria to get in and harm the baby. So I lost that. That meant that labor was
starting. It's like the beginning of.
Well, it doesn't really mean labor is starting, because some people, they do lose their mucus plug, and then go like weeks without having labor. So it's case to case. But in my case, I lost it. I went back to bed, and literally 30 minutes later, not even like 15 minutes later, contractions started. I started feeling like something. I'm like, oh my god, these contractions. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna get too excited. Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna wait it out. So that I didn't sleep. So at 4 a.m., an hour later, it started really like it was coming and going. I'm like, okay, I'm not, I never had a baby, never had contractions, but
you can tell that's what
contraction.
It is.
Exactly. Yeah. It was very, very, very mild, so it didn't hurt at all. So I slept through it. I woke up in the morning. I told Max, I'm like, hey, he was supposed to go to work. It was a Friday. I told him, hey, I'm having contractions ever since 4 a.m. So I don't think you should go to work. He's like, okay, I'm gonna stay. So he stayed. So the whole day I was having contractions. They were like 7 minutes apart, 8 minutes apart, 9 minutes apart. So around that time, like under 10 minutes, but they were still
bearable. Like,
yeah, they weren't hurting. No, I was able to walk. I was feeling them, but I was able to like
function and do normal things. Yeah.
Exactly. So around 8 p.m. that night, it started to become really, really, really strong. So it was getting, and at that time they were like 5 minutes apart.
I think they were about 5 minutes apart.
Yeah, they were like 5 minutes apart, 6 minutes apart, and they started to be really, really strong. Hey, baby. Look like shit. So I decided to take a bath. So I went, took a bath, and then literally started accelerating. Then 4 minutes, then 3 minutes, and 4 minutes, and 3 minutes. And then I went to bed. she was there, kind of like a support with Maxwell, kind of like help out of it. So they were there. I was doing hypnobirth. So the way I decided to deal with pain was by doing hypnobirthing. So I was doing my hypnosis. I was really able to cope with it. But then it was at 4 a.m. At like 3 a.m. they started doing like every minute or less than a minute, every minute and less than a minute.
And they were really stronger.
They were really strong. So if I wasn't doing my hypnobirthing, I was able to feel it and it was really there. But whenever I was into hypnosis, it wasn't hurting as much because I was able to go into my safe place and really cope and let my body feel the waves and really feel the contractions. We call it waves in hypnobirthing, but feel everything. So I was really able to cope with it. But then at 3 a.m., like I said, they were every minute, so I couldn't. So I called my midwife. She said, okay, come over. I went there. I was ready. I'm like, you know what? I'm a 6 or 7. I'm ready to have this baby. I worked for like 24 hours now. I have dealt with it for sure. I'm dilated. I'm ready. I'm gonna get this baby. I did my hair, did my eyebrows. You know, I was ready to have that like little baby. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm having a baby. She's like, good luck. I'm like, okay. Went, you know, everything. I was really there. Arrived. Midwife checked me. She's like, wow, you're like
a centimeter. After 24 hours of labor, she's dilated 1 centimeter.
And that she was giving it to me. Like she was like,
yeah.
You know, I'm able to insert like a tiny little finger, but that's it. But you're like 1 centimeter. I'm like, really? Really 1 centimeter. That's it. After 24, and then she was like, you know what? You can either go
stay there and continue
to labor, or you can go back home, but I feel you'll be more comfortable at home. I'm like, okay, let me go back home. I'll do my stuff. I'll be more comfortable. So one, my mental, you know, whenever you decide to go into whenever you decide to do like a natural labor, your mental, your head, like your headset, your mindset is what helps you go throughout everything. But then when she said that, like there was a crack on the wall. You know? Like I was so sure, guys, and I was so pumped, but then it crushed me, yeah. So whenever I would go to the bathroom, I would see like a yellow tint, and I told my midwife that. She was like, oh, it's okay. Hopefully the baby didn't poop. Maybe it's pooped. Maybe the baby pooped, but we're not sure. Anyhow, we passed that. So then I labored, continued feeling everything in my butt. I couldn't take it anymore at like 6 p.m. I went to the midwife. I called the midwife. I'm like, no, it's unbearable. It's like every literally minute. It's not giving me a break. They're so strong. She's like, okay, come in. I went, she checked me. She's like, well, you dilated half a centimeter since I last saw you. So since 4 a.m., it was 6 p.m. I had dilated half a centimeter. So I was 1.5. So she decided to do a stripping. Oh my God, that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. The stripping. Like that was more painful than the contractions. No man, I can't. Like, it was hell. It was, and she only did half of it. So basically, stripping is when she puts her finger into your cervix and tries to open it. Oh my God, I can't. I'm like thinking about it. I'm having chills because how painful it was. Anywho, she did that, but she did half of it because I couldn't. I took her hand, I literally grabbed her. I'm like, remove. I couldn't. So she removed, and then after 38 hours of natural labor, I'm like, you know what? Let me go to the hospital. I'm gonna get the epidural. I can't. Maybe it's gonna help me relax. Blah blah. I went there, arrived. They were like, well, you're only at 2. We can't really give you the epidural. You need to be at least at a 6 centimeters. I'm like, I can't. And then they plugged me into that machine that's like follows your contractions. And they were like, whoa, your contractions are really, really, really strong, and they're really high. And they're coming and they're back to back. They're as strong as when you're about to like the last part of labor before getting ready to push. Yeah. You know? And then, but I was only at a 2. So I'm like, okay. I literally begged them, I'm like, please. The nurse went. The nurse left and went to speak with her friend, what nurse friends. She came back, she's like, do you believe in miracles? I'm like, yeah. She's like, we got your room, because usually they don't give you a room up until you're like a 6. They let you at like the triage. I don't know how to say that in English, but like,
they're just like a place that you're at, like when you're still,
when you're not admitted yet.
Yeah, you're not admitted yet, and you're not in what do you call it, active labor? That's what it is.
Yeah. And you become active labor when you're like at 6
centimeters.
So she came, she's like, we got your room, you're gonna get admitted now. And I got admitted, I went to the room, and then another nurse came, she's like, okay. So yeah, so once I arrived into the room, the nurse, she was like, okay, the guy for the epidural is going to come. If he asks you, you're at 6, blah blah blah. So basically they lied to the guy because they wanted to help me after seeing how strong my
contractions
were. So they really wanted to give me a break. The guy arrived, he gave me the epidural, and after he gave me the epidural, I was still feeling the contractions, and I told him, like, is it normal that I can still feel the contractions in my butt? He's like, yes, it's no. Oh, he's like, oh, it's gonna, like, give it 10 minutes, it's gonna pass you, and you're not gonna feel anything. But I was still feeling something, but it was it
was fading away a bit.
No, it was mild.
Okay.
After like 2 hours, the contractions were as painful as when I arrived. I was feeling everything again because she was like, I was still feeling them in my butt. Then the OBGYN, the doctor arrived, and then she checked me. She's like, well, you're at 3. She broke my water, and she's like, oh, damn it, the baby pooped inside, blah 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 blah. And she went and checked the baby. She's like, oh, the baby turned. So instead of the baby being like her back towards my stomach, she was back to back, and that's not the right position for a baby when you're about to give birth. So basically the baby's head down and their back is against your stomach, and her stomach, she's facing my back, but she was back to back. She wasn't facing my back, and that wasn't a good position. That's why I was feeling everything in my butt. And so basically I continued to labor in the hospital.
But you also got an infection.
Yes.
Yeah, and a fever
because
of
like a prolonged like labor. My labor was so long that my body was
shutting down.
Yeah, I was shutting down, and I just couldn't. And like I told you guys, I had puked everything. I didn't have anything in my body, and in the hospital you're not allowed to eat anything, not even water, just in case you might get like a C-section.
Yeah.
They don't want you to have anything. So
you continue to labor.
Yeah.
You continue to labor, and then
at that point I don't really remember much because I was so
out
done.
of it and everything. But what I remember is that you had they had checked you had gotten to 6 centimeters dilated, and then they wanted to give like a little bit more time. They gave you like maybe like, I'd say maybe 8 hours of more labor.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because they wanted to see if she would progress enough so that they can not do a C-section, and then she can go into like continue the labor and push the baby.
I came back at 12, and then I was at 7.5, and they were like, okay, well, we're gonna give you another like hour or 2, and if you don't dilate any further,
then that's it.
We're going to give you like a C-section.
Also, when they came to check her and they saw that she was 7 centimeters dilated, they also noticed that her cervix was swollen. So that too didn't help, because then it was like causing that the cervix wasn't opening up anymore, because the cervix was working so much that, you know, after a while they just couldn't anymore.
Yeah. So after that they came back, and they were like, you know what, they came back 2 hours later. I didn't dilate any further. They were like, you know what, we're gonna give you a C-section. And the baby's heart rate too was too flat. So what they're looking for is the baby's heart rate to do this, like up and down, up and down, up and down. But India's heart rate was very, very, very flat, and sometimes it was dropping. So decided to do like emergency C-section, and so they brought me into the operation room. And I remember I was looking at all the lights, and then Maxwell was next to me, and all I was saying was like, God, please let me hear my daughter's cry before I die. If I'm about to die, please let me hear my daughter's cry. Please let me hear my daughter's cry. And then when they got her out, she started crying. I literally started bawling, and I'm like, oh my god, it's done. That's it. I have my baby. And after that, I was out of it.
Aisha doesn't remember much, but what happened is that as soon as India was crying, I remember the doctors took her up. They put her on the side to let me cut the umbilical cord. So I cut the umbilical cord. They wiped her off a bit, off of like the blood and everything. We couldn't get, one thing that was inside of Aisha's birth plan is that she wanted the placenta to stay with the baby, because you know, like the baby continues to get good nutrients from the placenta.
Yeah, there's like good blood supply that's in the placenta, is still pumping blood, and I wanted India to keep that so that the good blood can go into her body before we cut it, but we couldn't do it
because of the C-section, because they say that, you know, they have to wrap the baby's gonna be too cold and so on. So then they wrap India up real quick. They gave her to me after I cut the umbilical cord, and then I go ahead and I see Aisha that's there still on the operational table, and then I place India right like above, like by her chest, by her head, and we're all there, the three of us, just like in awe of like. So me, I went back to our hospital room, and I had India with me, and we're doing the skin to skin, and she was just on me. And then Aisha's midwife came to our hospital room waiting to see Aisha afterwards, because what happens is that even though we got admitted to the hospital, the nursing house and the midwife still continues to follow you even if you end up at the hospital, and even after you leave the hospital, which is really, really, really great. And so I was there with India doing skin to skin. We're waiting for Aisha to come back. Aisha's mom was there, her best friend, and I don't even remember when Aisha came back, what happened, how it happened. All I do remember is that when Aisha was back, there was at some point she was like the nurse was telling her about breastfeeding, trying to pack in so much information, but Aisha couldn't retain much of the information because she was like in and out of passing out. And then also I was trying to like hold India, like the midwife showed me how to like help Aisha breastfeed, and so, but obviously Aisha was super and extremely tired. She just went through a surgery, so I was staying by Aisha's side, had India on the side breastfeeding while Aisha was sleeping, and that's as much that I remember. But that's it. Like, it's a blank. It's really a blank too, you know.
I really don't remember much. I don't remember much either. Anywho, but after that, honestly, it's very sad to say that I really don't remember like when she was born and all of that, and I can't really say much about it. All like the bits and pieces that I have, it's because people were telling me what happened, and yeah, so yeah, that's how she was born. Anywho, so that was my birthing story. My birth story, I mean, very traumatic. I know I cried, and I still cry whenever I think about it, because I didn't get the chance to get the birth that I wanted. But it's not even that, it's just because I can't even remember when she was born. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. If I think about it, natural birth was not as bad as people, like, it's very hard, it's very challenging, something out of,
but
like,
you were able
body.
but like you would do it again.
I will do it again.
It didn't
in a
scare
heartbeat.
you.
No,
Exactly.
I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like, if it wasn't from that pain in my butthole, I know I would have been able to do it. And if it wasn't for India turning at the last minute, I would have been able to push her out of my body. But anyhow, at the end, I have a healthy baby. Exactly. I'm healthy, I'm alive. You know, I didn't die on that table. Like,
exactly, everything went well. There was no complication during the C-section.
Yeah.
You know? So there's plenty of places where things could have gone wrong, but they didn't. And that's we're blessed. And if that's and
what we get, we're thankful, and our baby's here and she's healthy. So yeah, so anywho guys, that was it for this video. That was our birth story video. Question, anything you want to say, please comment it down below. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and comment, subscribe, and share the video and all that jazz. Anywho, we love you so much guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Bye.
Hey, Indy.
cutest girl.
Oh my gosh, she has a mom's face. She has your face.
Really, eh?
Look at her face.